Welcome everybody to It Came From GenX. We are in full silly mode already. Welcome to our 50th show. Yay!
Woo! That is crazy.
That is unreal. And we are having a good time already in pre-production. And also joining us today, you've seen him once before, but he's the man behind the scenes. He's always with the show. We call him the boss. Our podcast producer, Mike Skinner Jr. Welcome to the show, Mike. How are you, buddy?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah,
a little bit of last second.
You weren't trying to get on. You trying to mess with me. So that's what you get. Well, we're glad to have you. So it's the 50th show, man. We got to have something special, right? All right. And as always, the co-host of the show, Mike Skinbone Skinner and Brian Fishbone Fisher. What's going on, Skinner?
Hey, it's been one of those Mondays, but I tell you what, we had a great weekend. Finished it off with Christmas. And by the way, Junior, your Christmas present's in the mail.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Don't hold your breath.
Most of the family was over last night. Unfortunately, Dylan and Amy, as you affectionately call it, your bride, Amy, they fell down with COVID last week, so they had to stay home. So we'll have Christmas with them when they're feeling better here in another week. But the tree came down today. You can see behind me, it's gone. So we're going to put it behind us of what has happened over the last couple of months, and looking forward to a great 2022.
Sounds great. Fishbone, my man, how was your weekend, brother?
Very nice. Thank you. Some nice quality time with Allie. Nice dinner, and she hadn't seen Spider-Man yet, so I took her out to see that for the first time. Enjoyed that. Nice dinner, nice brewery, quality time watching football, and we'll talk more about that. And it's a special honor that Junior was about to enjoy. He mentioned a clove cigarette of some sort, and he's graciously put that off.
Will not confirm
time with the old guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hanging out with the staff. He said he's trying to boost morale of the staff, and so he's joined us here this evening. So that's extra special. Yeah.
Yes, and if he starts shaking, we'll have to let him go. He has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, Lord.
And we'll leave it at that. So, hey, no use to thanking Junior. He's here on the show right now. But we appreciate all that he does. Well, we do want to give a shout out to Christopher Dominic at WMBU.org, making it all possible. So, guys, my weekend, as you know, I had to bury my cousin Saturday. And a gloomy day ended great. Got to see some friends I have not seen in 12 years. And it did something for me. So it's been a good few days. My son came into town today, took the old man out, and gave me my Christmas present. We had our Christmas too, Skinner, so I know what that's like. So it's time to move forward now. Lots to talk about today. We're going to let Fishbone take the brunt of the show, but we got some good stuff coming. But before that, tell them where they can find us.
All right, thanks. So real quick here, you might be listening to us on WMBU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Pull up the site, pull up their app, play Listen Now, or Live Listen, excuse me, and you can check us out there if you want to. Also, there are other good content and music. Listen to us whenever you want to on demand. We're on many podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Twitch, and more. Just give us a subscribe, and as we publish new episodes each and every week, they'll pop into your feed for you at no cost to you. Give us a like and subscribe. We appreciate that. All show information can be found in two main areas, links to our YouTube channel, Facebook page, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Two main areas are Linktree account. Just look up Linktree. It came from GenX. And our website, it came from genx.wordpress.com. All show information's there, links to all episodes, links to all the videos, promos, etc., all on our website. And I do want to mention again, new feature on our Facebook page at It Came From GenX. You may also listen to our podcast right there from our Facebook page. You can subscribe right from there if you just pull up our Facebook page, if you prefer to listen to us there. So. If you like our stuff, tell a friend. We appreciate it. If you choose to support the show, we appreciate that too. A link to our Patreon account can be found on our website if you want to give us a couple of bucks and get to Skinner a new It Came From Gen X shirt or something like that. So
There you go.
we appreciate your support out there. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I hear we're picking up listeners in the women's prison circuit.
Mhm.
So if you're doing 10 years or more, write me. I'm single. I need the stability. So,
There you go.
I like knowing where she's at every night. So hit me
And
up.
if you're under age 70, age 70 as well, it would be appreciated.
Well,
Yep.
you know what? I'm kind of, loose on that. But
It's not a requirement anymore.
yeah, not such a stickler anymore. So whatever you got. All right, Skibbo, take it away, my man.
Well, going to update on the Russian-Ukraine situation going on across the pond. More and more indications are that there's something's going to happen. Nobody knows when. Our president's throwing out demands and throwing out threats that they're going to intervene with and all that good stuff. What I found out today is the president of Ukraine doesn't seem to think that anything is going on that's anything of any grave concern. His name is Volodymyr Zelensky, and he's affectionately known as Mr. Zelensky. He's talking down the troops that have formed across the entire northern border of Ukraine, and they're estimating 100,000 troops from Russia are in the area. Over the weekend, there was blood supplies and medical staff moved to the area. So I'm not over there, but you read between the lines, it sure sounds like something's about to happen. But he keeps acting as if there's nothing going on. He's telling his people, don't panic. They've done this before, but from what I understand from all the reports that I've read, that it's never gotten this far. They'd send troops to do some kind of training, put a little scare in the northern borders, and then they're gone after a week or so. This has been escalating since before Christmas, so stay tuned. I don't know what you guys think about this, or if I'm reading too much into it, but it sure sounds like something's going down. And we joked about World War III.
That's the whole catch-22. It looked bad to us. But God, you hope he's right. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like he has his head in the sand is what it sounds like.
It does, whether that's out of fear, whether that's out of...
you want to talk nostalgia. One thing that was big in the late 70s and 80s, the Cold War, and it was this fear of the two superpowers going head-to-head. Anytime we get in close proximation, that's always the fear, because that's what we call the end game. I mean, you think Avengers was the end game. United States and Russia, nobody can win that, like I said last week. So, yeah, we got a right to be nervous. You know what I'm saying? There's still hardliners in Russia, still want to wipe us out. And I would imagine some people in the United States, and the powers that be might feel that way as well. But anytime we start getting troops close to each other or ships, yeah, it's absolutely freaking scary. So it's not like this guy's got his head in the sand, but I wish he was right. Junior, any thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, I don't have too much to add there. The only thing I know is that our Secretary of State's supposed to talk tomorrow to the Russian foreign minister, I think is what I had read. So it looks like instead of just all this kind of harsh words, it looks like we might actually have a little bit of diplomacy going on tomorrow, which is what I would like to see. We'll see what happens there. But that's about all I can add there.
Now, good stuff. Fish?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot of posturing still. I think Putin's just kind of seeing how people's reacting. I don't know that he's going to roll a tank in there and kind of see what happens. I mean, I know that we've threatened a lot of sanctions and so forth, and that in itself could have a lot of repercussions. I was reading about as well, because if we put harsh sanctions on Russia, then they may shut off I guess gas into the country, and then that has other impacts on. I don't know. It's all kinds of stuff. It could cause other global economic havoc. Yeah.
Right. If there could be a theme for 2022, a national, worldwide campaign, I wish it could be everybody just chill. Just chill, man. Stop
Sit back and take
people.
a breath.
Stop bothering people. Everybody just chill. Every country's got their own problems right now. We're all dealing with a freaking pandemic. Hey, just chill. You ain't got time to start invading people and doing other kind of stupid crap, man. Just relax.
Well, you hear that? So, Mr. Putin, if you are listening out there,
I'm pretty sure he is. I heard he's a listener. So
please heed our advice. Just chill out, man. Just chillax.
Maybe our friends in Germany can send a message up north for us.
Yeah,
maybe.
Come on.
Or let's call our buddy in Florida. See what he'll do.
Oh, Mr. Ronnie D. Yeah, he's always got something to say, doesn't he?
I bet he got the stones to do it too. All right. Anything else, Skinner?
You know, it was brought to my attention on a story that happened several years ago, but it's still relevant today.
It's a great story, though.
A lady gave her kidney, donated a kidney to her boss. He or she needed a kidney transplant. She donated a kidney. She ended up being a match, donated a kidney. It was one of her lifelong goals before 50. She wanted to help save a life somehow, and it was donating kidney. Well, needless to say, after the surgery, a lot of times they say that when you have a kidney transplant, the donor has a worse time recovering than the actual recipient to begin with. So the donor ended up getting fired from her job from the guy that she gave the kidney to because she took too long to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sit back and ponder on that for a minute. What kind of stones does this guy have to do this, first of all? And what kind of disrespect to the woman that just possibly saved your life or extended your life by several years by donating a kidney that she didn't have to do to begin with? You know, so I don't know what the age of this individual is, but it reminds me a lot of the Gen Zs and some of the millennials. I'm not going to say all of them because we have one here in face to face with us.
Oh no, we're going to talk about millennials today.
But the entitlement and all this horse crap that's going on, you know, I really have a strong opinion. This guy is a piece of dirt.
I'm sure that's universal.
And she sued him, but I did not get into the story any further she sued him for, lost wages and damages and this, that, and other. I never did find out what happened with that, but I wanted to do a generation spin on this. Mm-hmm. And what the hell is this guy thinking?
Well, now we have a very strict policy.
Oh, okay.
You only have five call off days. Now, this was made very clear upon hire. So, just I'm afraid there's no excuse.
Look, man, I want to be.
I'm kidding, of course.
We know you are. We know you are.
Yeah.
I want to be fair though with it. We don't know all the details.
No,
okay? We know the surface is at face value. But if it is what it is, dude is the poster child for low down. I'm serious. I mean, that's just the poster child for low down. That goes under stupid people, idiots.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, but you know what it reminds me of? We kind of talked about this a few weeks ago. Frivolous torts, silly lawsuits, things like that. Like the man who tried to rob a church. He fell through the roof, broke his leg, sued the church, and won. Things like that. It reminds me of things like that. Yeah, that's slow down, right? So I don't know, man. Like I said, I would love to know all the details to this, but that's welcome to planet Earth. Will you be staying long? Any thoughts, Junior?
I guess the only thing I would say is that we talked. I mean, I don't know if you guys have talked about it too much on the show, but a common topic is about cancel culture, and some people say it goes too far. Some people say it's important for changing the culture. Here's where I think a little bit of cancel culture is okay. If this guy really did that, he kind of deserves a little bit of public shame. I don't know. That's about all I have to say.
Okay, see, I'm not for cancel culture, but in this incident, I totally agree with you.
Sometimes it's okay. Like a little bit's okay.
Is there a refund on that kidney? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if there's not, I would pay a couple of friends named Guido and Moose and have them retrieve it for me.
If he said no take backs, then we definitely got something going on there.
Yeah, you got the right friends. You can get a take back.
Right.
While he's walking out of the bowling alley late Wednesday night. Jerk. Wow.
I mean, like you said, I don't know the details. I mean, you would, maybe she was not giving a time to return. Maybe he tried to reach her. She wasn't. There's all kinds of things that may go around with this from a business perspective, but you would think he would find a way to give some type of an option. If he's like, she's not coming back in. I don't know when she's returning. Let's do some type of a leave of absence. There's got to be some type of option here to retain her employment that works for her. I mean, if she's just expecting to get paid and she has an unknown return time and maybe she's going to try to take advantage of the situation, maybe that's a little different. But if none of that is even a factor, then it's pretty, like you say, pretty bad and pretty poor judgment, certainly on his part, to say the least. So.
Here's the thing. We know newspapers and things like that are guilty of sensationalism. We don't know the facts. Maybe this woman felt that because she gave him a kidney, she could take advantage of the situation.
Exactly, right.
And then take too long. But they're not going to print that part because that's not going to make headlines.
Right.
True. Print it like
That's
it is, and all of a sudden we're all riled up. So you never know. So that's the way it is.
Yep.
So thanks a lot, Skinner. Appreciate that. And a little bit of sports music for you today. And as we get into that, I'm going to segue off of that, what we just talked about. But I always point out the shirts. But today we are universal. We are wearing our It Came From GenX shirts, courtesy of our own Mike Skinner and Marcy. So enjoy the shirts, folks, because we look good. All right. So anyway, guys.
Well, besides my dad, his is looking rough.
I was trying to cut you some slack, Junior, but thanks for pointing that out.
I want to give a quick my daughter Peyton, my lovely daughter Peyton, again made the logos of the show.
My apologies. Absolutely.
That's okay. So she made different alternate logos. This is one. So yeah, thank you, Peyton, for the terrific design. So much, sorry, Peyton. Keith. Thank you. Yeah.
No, I apologize. I don't know how to slip my mind there.
That's all right.
So kind of just segueing on sensationalism. This is a prime example. I hate when people take a beautiful thing and just to sell magazines or ratings or whatever, use sensationalism and muck it all up. I'm going to give you an example of a headline I saw yesterday, and I think it was the Sporting News, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Ben Roethlisberger finishes an 18-year career. He's had beautiful fanfare the last 3 weeks as he exits out of the NFL. Brady pretty much says he's done the other day. And instead of, hey, 2 long careers are finished or something like that, this was the headline they put. Brady upstages being one last time.
Love it.
I know you love it, you jerk, but that's just so freaking lame. That is so unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessary, man. Why would you make something out of it like that? So anyway,
that's not even the best headline. The best headline was in what was it, the Plain Dealer or something like that. It said Ben Roethlisberger, winless against Browns in playoffs, finally retires or something like that. And I was like, yes, that's it.
That's a great example. Yeah, my son told me that today. I'm like, wow, you people are pathetic. You're so pathetic in Cleveland.
It's true.
Mike Brown, owner of the Bengals, holds up a trophy yesterday, and I see Browns finally win championship. Okay. Anyway, guys, let's talk about yesterday. Obviously, we have the NFC and AFC championship game. Quite interesting. We thought this would be Kansas City looked everything but unbeatable the last couple of weeks. And we saw something yesterday that we haven't seen in football in a long time, and that's the fight of the underdog, the never say never, the I don't care what it looks like, and it beat that unbeatable. I was really, really proud of what Cincinnati did. Of course, I was a little ticked off at Kansas City. I was so glad they've gotten so arrogant, so cocky, and it backfired on them. Personally, and I don't care just because it's my football team, but the game against Pittsburgh was ridiculous. They were getting so arrogant and cocky. It wasn't necessary to let Kelsey throw a touchdown. It wasn't necessary to throw one to the lineman. Good Lord, you're up by 30 freaking points. But they were doing all that stuff just clowning on us. Then the way they were giving each other horseback rides and all that other stuff yesterday, I'm like, really? But where their arrogance backfired was when it was 5 seconds to go on the 2-yard line at the half. Yeah. Take the 3. Traditional football. Any moron in their right mind would have kicked 3 points. But no, we're going to score. And you got nothing. You walked away with nothing. And that left a creak in the door for Kansas City to come back. I mean, Cincinnati to come back in, and they did. And
then Patrick Mahomes had the worst half of his career.
Yes, he did. And I loved every minute of it. So that I got a lot out of that for as far as them being arrogant and the backfire, but I also got a lot about Kansas City showing the world, showing young people what it means to never, ever give up. I was in my my cousin's funeral Saturday, and the pastor that gave the eulogy did something awesome. He goes, I want to show you guys a quick little film. And we looked on the screen, and it was a Pee-wee football game. And we saw a guy run the ball and get down close to the end zone, but got tackled on the 5. And we're all kind of like, okay. And he goes, you guys don't know what you saw. He goes, let's rewind it. He rewound it. And he pointed to a guy playing safety. This kid was so little. I mean, he was like this, and all the other kids were like this. And when the other kids ran the ball, he went to go for a tackle, and somebody just laid him out on the ground. And then the kid kept running down towards the end zone. All of a sudden, out of the screen, here comes the little kid. He got up and outran everybody and caught that big kid before he scored. And it was amazing when you realize what you were watching. And his message on that was never, ever give up. If you get knocked down, the only thing on that ground for you is defeat. But if you get up and keep going, there's victory down the road. And everybody was just so fired up hearing this. You know what I'm saying? So I love the message that was sent by Cincinnati winning this incredible football game. And I like the fact that Matthew Stafford, still one of the old guys, is going to the Super Bowl. We haven't given the keys completely over to the young guys. Odell Beckham Jr. making the Browns look silly once more. It was just a great day. Skinner, what'd you think about yesterday?
My picks were, I went 1-1. I picked Cincinnati to win that game. I also picked Frisco, which I was doing pretty good there till they decided to lay an egg in the second half, and But once again, 2 very well played football games. One went into OT, the other one was won by a field goal. You know, we had 6. The last 6 games were what I didn't get the exact count, but I think it was a matter of less than 20 points was the margin of victory between all 6 games.
The greatest playoffs in history, in my opinion.
Which is pretty incredible. Yeah, but like you said, the young kid, Joey Burrow, lets everybody out there know that if you want it, it's yours for the taking. And that doesn't go just for football.
I am officially on the Joe Burrow bandwagon. He is made of something completely different. And I'm going to tell you why. The kid can't start at Ohio State. He leaves one of the best schools ever and goes to LSU. Haven't played one down. Starts, wins the national championship, wins the Heisman Trophy, gets drafted first to the worst team in football, but in his home state, and in his second year, beats the powerhouse in his division, Pittsburgh, beats the powerhouse in his division, Ravens, beats the powerhouse of the last couple of years, Cleveland Browns.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He wins the division. He won the division. That's what I mean. And goes to the Super Bowl. Right. This kid is something special, man. He's something special.
Absolutely agree. So, the football is incredible. Incredible weekend for football again.
What are your thoughts, Junior?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of pointed out there's like a few reasons to be sad as a diehard Browns fan. One, it's like this was supposed to be us. We were supposed to be the ones. Like we're the ones that tanked.
Sad. I'm sad.
We're the ones that tanked for all these years, and we're supposed to be seeing the glory. And now we don't even know if our quarterback's going to start next season.
Right.
And then like you said, watching Odell Beckham, it's kind of like, well, maybe he wasn't the problem here. there's a lot. I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. I'm curious. That Bengals O-line is really bad, and Aaron Donald and Von Miller are really good. So I'm really curious about that. But Joe Burrow is awesome, and I hate to admit it, and that's the only good thing you're going to hear me say about the Bengals.
Fair enough. Fish?
Yeah, the Bengals are just the preparation and the discipline and the determination were the factors in that game. I heard a stat. I'm like, Alan and I was watching that game. It's like, the game was flying by, and it's just like, well, neither team really had many penalties at all throughout that game. And I heard that the Bengals were the least penalized team in the NFL this past year.
Your
and here they are.
Cowboys can learn a lesson in that.
Exactly. 100% right. Exactly what I said.
Yeah.
A couple of games ago, the Cowboys, who arguably had the talent to match up with San Francisco, but 14 penalties, you're not going to win a playoff game like that. Bengals played a great game. Yeah, and the week prior, Joe Burrow sacked 9 times. They still win. Yesterday, I don't know that he was sacked maybe once, maybe twice. Actually, the Bengals had more sacks on Mahomes than the Chiefs had on Burrow in that game. Right. So, so Cincinnati's already trying to extend the coaching staff out with extended contracts, which makes a lot of sense. So, that team was ready, had a lot of heart. Burrow is a exceptional talent and great for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a great story for them. And I'm happy for Matt Stafford on the
I'm happy
Rams.
for Matt Stafford. So happy for Matt Stafford.
True. Yeah, I
want to point out 2 players though in the playoffs. One moving on, one not moving on. I think they are 2 of the most exceptional talents that I have seen in a long time. One is Debo Samuels. My heart went out to this young man. He is phenomenal. I don't think we've ever seen a player like him. Ever. I thought Roger Craig was similar to him, but in reverse. Roger Craig was this great running back that could go out and catch. But Debo Samuels is the first wide receiver that is a dangerous running back. And he's just an amazing player. My heart went out to him. And much respect for Beckham to go over and show him some love after the game.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, the other player is Jamar Chase for Cincinnati, man. This kid is something else.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Chase did.
Like, what Junior said, they get that O-line picks. They are going to be something to reckon with.
No doubt.
The Ravens, the Steelers, and Browns better get it together.
Bengals can still win. They could win the Super Bowl. They could win the whole thing.
Win it. Yeah,
I think they could. Because of Joe Burrow, I think they got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the Rams don't, they didn't put up a whole lot of points. They're not on all cylinders like they need to be. Bengals put up a lot of points, so
they struggle. That guy from San Francisco, he is. If the guy from San Francisco catches that interception, sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead.
There's this new breed of quarterback. Go ahead, Fish. I'm sorry.
That's all. That's I was just trying to say. The guy from San Francisco, if he dropped that interception, that game could have went the other way.
Man,
and Jimmy G, like 8 or 9 straight incompletions to end the game. You're not going to win a championship game like that. So,
real quick, Fish, is Jimmy G done?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No, he's not going to. He's done starting. He'll be a backup somewhere. That's it.
No, don't say that. Stop it.
He's coming to the Browns.
No,
the writing's on the wall.
No.
No, he's done as
we have a smart front office now. That's the one thing we do have.
Guys, don't take Junior off right now, okay? keep him happy. Keep him smiling, okay?
I think you're right, Fish. I think he's a backup somewhere else.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, that dude, he's going
to be traded their first-round pick to grab Trey Lance. I was blanking on his name for a second. They traded everything for him. They have to give him the keys.
Yeah, they gave, but Jimmy G's going to get like what, 70, 80 million guaranteed or something ridiculous. It's all they can write it all off like this year. It's easy for them to cut him this year. Yeah, it was last year. By Minnesota got 80 million guaranteed.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
Kirk Cousins. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, this new breed of quarterback that we see, there was either the runner or the thrower. Now we got the guy that can run and throw deadly accurate on the run. Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. Man, I hope Pittsburgh gets this type of quarterback. I like to see Cleveland get this type of quarterback and us have the best division in football. So I got a few other stories, but I want to let Fisher take the run of the time today. So let's get on to some pop culture.
Trying. Okay, we did have a passing in the world of pop culture that certainly our generation, the Gen X generation certainly knows. Howard Hesseman, not Hesser, Hesseman, passed away, age 81. Best known for his role of Dr. Johnny Fever in the sitcom WKRP Cincinnati, ran from 78 to 82. And in the 80s, he was a teacher on Head of the Class for a few seasons before I transitioned to another actor. But yeah, for me as a kid, that was one of my mom's favorite shows growing up. So when that came on TV, that was definitely something that we watched. I thought it was a great show, great comedic actors, and he played a great role in that show. So yeah, he was in some movies and whatnot, but again, that was his most famous role. So, any thoughts on Dr. Johnny Fever, Howard Hesseman, Keith?
We talked about WKRP a little while back, and as you recall, I was not a watcher of the show. I don't want to say not a fan, because I watched it and it was funny. I just didn't watch the show. Of course, I tuned in like every boy my age back then, because Lonnie Anderson was athletic activity material.
Oh boy,
that's a good way to put it.
Thank you.
That was Tune In TV. Her and Bailey on the show.
Right
sure,
at the age that show was out, we were growing up. So put it like that.
I'm getting these funny feelings watching this show.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here. My
pants are too tight. No.
Yeah, funny feelings. Yep.
But no, I like him. I didn't watch the show. I didn't watch Head of the Class, but I did like who he was.
Okay, very good. Skinner?
So yeah, Porter kind of stole my thunder a little bit. That was my introduction to what the world of sexuality was with Lonnie Anderson in that show.
Well, we're so sorry. We don't want to hear about sexuality.
No, I mean that's my introduction to, like the hot blonde with the big boobs. I mean that's what
we don't want to be introduced to little Skinner.
And and they marketed her, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Hesselman. I remember him really well from Head of the Class. That was a pretty good show. If I remember right, Robin Givens was in that show.
Yeah, I think so.
If I remember right. He was great in both roles. So rest in peace, Howard. But WKRP, that was one of my dad's favorite shows. And again, that was my introduction as a young lad going into puberty. That Lonnie Anderson was the one that made, like Fisher says, special feelings going on down there.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Fast forward 5 kids later, folks.
Yes, there you go.
Here, this is the product of Lonnie Anderson here in the corner, folks.
Watching those old DVDs. Junior, have any idea what WKRP in Cincinnati was, or Howard Hesseman, or anything of the kind?
Absolutely not. While you were talking, I did a quick search on the MacBook. Who is Howard Hesseman, and what is Head of the Class? Junior. What is WKRP? You can look at my tabs right now. I got 3 open tabs in Safari trying to look up what's going on.
Okay.
So,
any thoughts on Lonnie Anderson, Jr.?
No idea who that is either.
Oh my God!
How do you spell the name? I'll look it up.
You
said Lonnie Anderson.
You need to watch some nostalgia TV, Junior.
Yeah,
she was a classic pinup. Michael,
not
even ring a bell.
That's bombshell, dude. Before there was Pamela Andersons and Kardashians. Yeah,
I can see like the pre-Pamela Anderson. I can see that looking at a Google search. I can see that for sure.
Oh yeah, yep, for sure. All right, we'll talk about Lonnie Anderson in another maybe after the episode is over. Further. Okay, so there's a few other stories out just real fast here. So Keith, I know you and I are excited about this, but Charlie Cox and we're big Daredevil fans in the Marvel universe. Great series on Netflix. Actually, there's a lot of them with Jessica Jones.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Luke Cage and the Defenders, and Daredevil was exceptional, though, in my opinion. Just Charlie Cox in that role is so good. and him and Vincent D'Onofrio. Am I saying the name right? D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Returning in their roles as Daredevil and Kingpin, but they've just announced that Daredevil is going to return to the Marvel Universe in several projects. He certainly made an appearance in the new Spider-Man No Way Home movie. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. So great stuff. I think it's going to be whatever they do is going to be terrific.
Yeah.
So looking forward to, and the original series is now having a resurgence on Netflix. People going back and picking it up and watching it or rewatching it. So
and I
think it's great news. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's phenomenal news, Fish. We kind of saw the writing on the wall, as you mentioned, when Matt Murdock was Peter Parker's attorney in Spider-Man No Way Home. Also, don't forget, D'Onofrio returned as Kingpin and Hawkeye.
Yes. That's right.
So we're like, oh, what is going on? So we talk about how great Marvel does it, how great Star Wars franchise does it. Netflix hits it on the head a lot, too, with really great series. And what I think happened with Netflix is they jumped the gun when they canceled all these Marvel series. They canceled them, and then the MCU universe took off with the Avengers movies and so forth. And now they're realizing, hey, we kind of jumped the gun with this. We need to capitalize on this stuff, because how could that stuff not be a ratings killer? I remember just reading on the internet, people were losing their mind when they canceled Daredevil. It was phenomenal. Luke Cage was phenomenal. Jessica Jones was phenomenal. I also liked I'm missing one.
John Barenthal.
No, Punisher. Yeah, that was excellent. The only one that stunk was Iron Fist. I wanted to slap that guy. Yeah, that was horrible. The Defenders, when they brought them all together, was pretty decent, but that was horrible. So I'm just excited about this, man. It was one of the best shows I've ever saw. One of the best characters. The violence was unbelievable, and it was great stuff.
Yeah, I think those shows stops because I think that was around the time that Disney was acquiring the rights to Marvel. I think it was something maybe tied to all
there was some
stuff.
political mumbo jumbo going on, sure.
Yeah, so
and they were also
Junior,
buying stuff from Sony as well, so that they could have the rights to them.
You're right. So yeah, good stuff. Junior, what do you think about are you fans of the Daredevil and is excited for this move or what?
I'll be honest with you. I don't really keep up with much of this stuff. This is out of my lane. I don't really have too much to add. I spend just all my time working on music and stuff. I haven't really, although what was I going to say? I do want to see the new Spider-Man movie. I know it's not exactly what you're talking about because I've heard incredible things, and all my friends keep telling me that. So I'm like, I got to get caught up a little bit.
Well, it's connected.
Okay.
It's connected. When you see Spider-Man, when he gets arrested, he'll have a blind attorney. That attorney is Matt Murdock, who's also Daredevil, the superhero.
Gotcha.
Okay, Junior, any thoughts on Catherine Bach?
Let me do a quick Google search real quick.
Oh,
Catherine Bach. Is she related to the singer of Skid Row?
Daisy Duke.
Never mind.
She related to Sebastian Bach.
Yeah. That's right.
The Dukes of Hazzard, Daisy Duke.
That's the best I got. That's the best I got.
That's all right.
How about Heather Thomas?
Heather Thomas? Let's see.
Oh,
Heather
Lord,
Thomas.
you guys.
All right, moving on. So,
I probably would have watched her show. I probably would have watched this. What was she in?
Yes.
Fall Guy.
She was in the Fall Guy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was the early '80s.
Yep, I would have watched that show.
Yes, indeed. yes, you would have.
Topic.
You would have, and you should. Skinner Senior, thoughts on Daredevil? As you keep up with this? Are you excited for this move? Any thoughts at all?
Oh, I'm excited about it. Yeah, absolutely. When, like you said, I heard that Murdoch came on Spider-Man. Like I said, I need to watch it. I still haven't had the opportunity to sit down and give it the 2.5 hours that it needs. But I did hear that he did a cameo in Spider-Man, and it just, the writing's on the wall that Daredevil's coming back, and that's certainly exciting news because that series, while the movies back in the early 2000s,
just going to mention that,
were terrible, absolutely terrible. Netflix hit it out of the park with Daredevil, the series, and that's
you
what
talk
really
about
brought
me
the
stealing
character
your
back.
thunder. I was just going to say that if you really want to know how good this series is, watch the movie first, and watch the movie Elektra.
Elektra was better than Daredevil, and that says a lot.
Well, the Elektra in the series was phenomenal. So
those movies. Yeesh. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's before Marvel knew what they were doing.
That's
sorry,
yes,
Chris. But
that's
yeah,
right.
that's before Marvel knew what they were doing.
Yes, you're right. Ben Affleck liked to forget about the Daredevil movie. I'm
He's
quite
certainly
sure.
more of a DC guy because he's phenomenal as Batman and Bruce Wayne to me.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of that, I'm sure Fish is going to talk about that. The Batman's coming out here soon. You got that on the radar?
I did not, but
time.
yes, there are new trailers for that out there, and I've said it. I think on prior episodes too. Wasn't really sure at all about Robert Pattinson playing Bruce Wayne, the
Still
Batman.
not.
But every trailer I see, though, it's like I'm more and more interested in this movie. I think it's going to be terrific. So
I'm fully interested in it, and I have an open mind because when I found out Affleck was doing Batman, I lost it like thousands of people. I had Daredevil in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he knocked it out the park, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have an open mind. He just doesn't, in my opinion, have the body size to pull off Batman. But we'll see. It might be a new take on him.
It looks good. It's when he first started out, and it just looks like that greasy, gritty feel.
Dark, and the fight scene I saw looked like, oh my god,
just brutal. Yeah, got like steel-toed boots is kicking the crap out of criminals. It's hey, why not? You know.
I think we got spoiled with Christian Bale. I hope he hits it out of the park too.
Yeah, I think he'll do well. All right, so I looked up some stuff here this week in pop culture. So we're shooting this on January the 31st. So just significant moments of pop culture throughout the years. A couple that came to light here before we get to the bigger one here. 1992, this day, Howard Cosell retired from ABC Sports. So he's certainly, for us growing up here, Howard Cosell was a staple on the Wild World of Sports, and then certainly on the early days of Monday Night Football with him and Dandy Don and Frank Gifford. They definitely made football an entertaining television show, and it really took off from there in primetime football games and all that. Wasn't the best announcer. People kind of loved to hate him, certainly, but he definitely had a unique style, and you as soon as you heard his voice, you knew exactly who the hell you were listening to here. So he was, I wouldn't say he was John Madden before John Madden, but he definitely was an influence. He was an influence, certainly, on sports broadcasting back in his time. So, Howard Cosell, anybody?
I was going to say just what you said. He was like a Madden before John Madden. He was.
I feel like the only thing I have to say is that I know him and I know that voice.
You know the voice. He's a very monotone voice.
Oh, for sure. I do know his voice. I know that voice for sure.
Watch the stuff on this guy. Fisher mentioned Monday Night Football and Wide World of Sports. But if you really want to understand his greatness and what he did, watch recordings on the relationship between him and Muhammad Ali.
I know. I was just going to say that too.
I was going to say, because he was a boxing commentator too.
Yeah, and him they had this unbelievable special friendship and relationship, and he covered most of Ali's fights, and it's just incredible stuff. Please watch Ali with Will Smith. They cover a lot of that in that movie, and he was just something special to me.
Okay, for sure.
Very good. All right. And in this day in 1993, the first solo performer performed in a Super Bowl halftime show. The late, great Michael Jackson performed. And at that time, you might remember, that was a huge halftime show. I think he came down, or at least a double. Of course, came down out of it. He didn't come down out of it, but somebody came out of a helicopter. It looked like it was him. He popped up on the scoreboard, and huge, big production show. And from there, it was a lot of solo artists made their way into performing. But at the time, that was probably the biggest spectacle of any Super Bowl halftime show, and it's trying to keep up with it from that point here. So I just kind of remember bits and pieces of it, but I do remember it was quite the show. Any thoughts, anybody, on Michael Jackson in the Super Bowl in 93?
Michael, do you remember hearing the Super Bowl then?
Assuming that was the year I was born.
No, you could have heard the show, heard it in the womb anyway.
Cut him some slack, Skinner. Jeez. Hey, you remember when you were 3 months and
I just remember the WKRP in Cincinnati theme. That's all I remember. Yeah.
I thought Fish, I thought you were going to say Skinner was the first solo artist when he watched Lonnie Anderson, but that's all.
Yeah,
But,
there you go.
you said you remember bits and pieces. Let me tell you something. Every now and then, this is God's honest truth, I pull that up on YouTube and watch it.
It was an incredible show.
Very good.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, Michael, if you
Very
haven't
good.
seen it or know anything about that Michael Jackson performance, look it up. It's definitely
It
worth
was
it.
something, and it set the bar for sure.
Yeah, it did. Only one that's come close since then, I think, is Prince.
Yeah, that's
Truthfully,
I don't
Wasn't
know,
it in
man.
3D?
I thought Bruno Mars knocked it out the park.
He was
I
good.
love
was
Bruno
good,
Mars
too.
He
too,
was good.
Yeah.
for sure. I
he
loved
was
his.
good.
Wasn't that in
Perry's was
3D
awesome
too,
when she had that giant like dinosaur or whatever thing that she brought?
Yeah,
That was like a
Yeah,
cool
that
show.
was
lion
That was
or
neat.
something.
Lion,
What'd you say,
yeah,
Fish?
Lion.
Sorry, wasn't that Super Bowl with Michael Jackson? Wasn't that in 3D? You got the glasses and you could watch it in
I don't
3D
remember
from
that.
home.
I don't know.
I
That's
think
cool.
that
Wow.
might be it. There was like a promo out there. You can get your 3D glasses. I have it on a VHS somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was the Michael Jackson show.
Wow.
I'll have to look that up. But
Okay.
yeah, at the time it was like, oh, wow. But anyway. Okay. And then one of the significant moments in pop culture happened on February the 4th, so coming up later this week. In 2004, Facebook is born. So it launched in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg and his Harvard College buddies. If you've seen the movies, you might know the stories, but the name is based on the Facebook directories that have been given to university students at the time at Harvard. So on July 13th, 2015, it became the fastest company in the Standard & Poor's 500 index to reach a market cap of $250 billion. And it's the world's most popular social networking site with more than 1.65 billion active users.
Wow.
It seems like it would be longer. I don't know. It just seems like it's been around longer than that. But
Not
so
for
Facebook.
me.
No.
No, I want to say this real quick because Junior can comment on this. So I want to hear what he has to
Mhm.
say. But I'll spit
Oh,
this
Lord.
out real fast. I remember it like it was yesterday because 2004 was the year I went back to college.
Mhm.
And they start coming around to classes talking about this thing called Facebook. We want to get you all signed up because, as we all talked about, it's what it was created for college students to communicate.
Yep.
And I went home and did what they said, and they gave us all papers, got an account, and I really didn't understand the purpose of it, the dynamic of it, the usefulness of it, and I kind of left it alone after a few days. I was bored with it. 2008, I'm about to graduate, and everybody's talking about Facebook me, and I went, okay, let me go back to this thing. So I went back, and I wasn't sure I could still use my University of Akron email address because I was graduating. I didn't know you keep them forever. And so I said, well, I'm going to make one with my AOL address that I've had for 10 years already, 15 years. That's why I made a whole new account, understand how to put pictures on there. And all of a sudden, it was just incredible how I was contacting people I haven't talked to, seen in years, whatever. After a year, I said, I wonder if my other account's still active. And I clicked it on, and there was probably 1,000 friend requests from my whole academia world. So for 10 years, I had two accounts, academia world, church, and music world. And I had to balance them for 10 years. So I finally consolidated them into one. But a lot of people complain about Facebook. I hate when people go, I don't do Facebook. Well, you're a freaking moron. So what? Listen, it's what you make of it. When I hear people political all day, complaining all day, I delete them. If you don't have nothing positive to say, I don't want to hear it. I have communicated with friends, family members, reconciled with people who we fell out years ago, all through Facebook. It's what you make of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of my question here. It's like, certainly you get what you make out of it as an individual, but has the platform become too powerful in the sense of its lack of governance allows anybody to get out there basically and spread all kinds of nonsense and in many cases harmful misinformation, whether you name it, politically, medically, or otherwise, that causes a lot of problems.
You can post any picture and put whatever narrative you want. You can have a black guy
giving
a white person Heimlich. and they're choking. But you can put the narrative black man attacks white woman and everybody's in an uproar. You get 100 comments.
Right.
Yep. All right, so Junior, we'll go to you next here. So is Facebook, I mean, you may not even use it that much, but is it helped society in many respects in the sense of what Keith was talking about here? You know, it's an easy way to connect people, and you would never, there's plenty of people out there that we connect with that just in passing, I would never see pictures of their children growing up over the years and things without this social media platform, right? So there's definitely a lot of good to it, and there's a lot of negative stuff too. Any thoughts? Is it more negative, positive, neutral? What are your thoughts on?
Well, how much time do we
Facebook?
have?
We got a little bit of time. We got a good 10 minutes.
As I told you before the show, this is actually what I actually studied in college when I went to the University of Washington. So I
wish we had more time.
A little bit of.
I wish we had more time.
I have a few thoughts on this.
Sorry, Junior. Go ahead. I'm just joking with it. Go ahead.
But I mean, there's honestly a lot. There's a lot that I did dig into. I'll just kind of go off the last thing that you were saying, Fish, is that yes, I believe that there is a lot of good, especially when you just think about just talking. Like, I love the fact that my grandfather can send me videos of cool pool shots. And me and him can sit and laugh about that. It's totally harmless. And even another way that it's great is, like, for instance, there's tons of groups in Afghanistan and other war-torn countries where people are actually having their lives saved by private Facebook groups, and otherwise they would never be able to communicate. Lots of good involved. But in the end, if I had to outweigh, I would definitely say it causes far more harm than good. And I don't think it's particularly close. And so I guess there's a few things. If I remember, a big paper I had to write on was specifically like how does technology influence human behavior? And there was a few key things that you have to remember. So Porter was kind of talking about it is what you make of it. Yes and no. So like you're kind of thinking of it as social media as a tool, right? But a tool implies that it's just something sitting there waiting to be used. So that's something like a hammer. Like a hammer is a tool that just sits there idly, won't do anything. It's not designed for anything other than being the hammer, right? That's not how social media is. Social media is designed by people who are programmed to make things that are as addictive as possible and to keep you lured and sucked into and outraged and get all of your emotions going at once. And everything is just happening. And that's built into the design of these sites.
I don't want to interrupt you. I want you to keep going. I just want to add this right there.
Sure.
But I'm aware of that. So isn't that still but what you make of it? I'm aware of that. Anybody who puts political comments, I'm not biting. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Religious comments, I don't bite. I don't say anything. I'm aware of that. So isn't that the whole key if you're aware of this?
I guess you have more faith in humanity than I do, because
I totally agree with what you're saying of being worse or more harmful. I'm just talking about as an individual.
Yeah, for sure. It is. Like, for me, I choose to not. I'm hardly ever on Facebook. You probably never see me comment on stuff. I barely do anything. And there's a reason for that, because I don't like it. I think it's truly toxic. There's lots of stuff that I do not like. But I just don't think that it's fair to just say, well, it's all in your individual choices, because it's not really that way anymore. Like, these things are really integrated into our society, especially when you look at like the younger generation. Like kids, like there are kids who have killed themselves because they couldn't keep up their Snapchat streaks. Like this is like serious things. So yes, you can say that you as a grown man can make these decisions, but when we're talking about where social media is actually mostly targeted to and who it's influencing most, it's the younger generation who's growing up with this ingrained into their lives every single day. And that's where you're seeing lots of mental health issues and lots of things. I know we're getting lower on time, so I can keep going, but that's
with you. I'm just saying I enjoy it and I make the most out of it.
And that's great.
It's
for
there,
sure.
But I make the most out of it.
Yeah. So like I said, there's a lot I could go on.
That's great info, and I know you could talk a lot on that.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. The technology of today becomes the tools of today, whether you like them or not, and they get exploited. That's going to happen every time. My dad used to say, I don't like microwave ovens. Anything that cook food that fast, I don't trust it. And I want to say to him, well, I tell you what, idiot, I don't see you going out hunting freaking rabbits or chickens, but you go buy them from the grocery store.
And I get the point you're making, but you don't. I just don't think you're truly appreciating the scale of what is happening here, though. Like,
No,
this truly is a social experiment
I totally get it.
that we have never done before. We've
And
never
I know we're being
connected billions of
manipulated.
people.
I totally get
So
it. I do
it's
appreciate
not
it.
just a step up. Like, this is truly like this is like the net. It's truly different. It's not like just saying, well, you don't want to use a microwave as opposed to an open fire. Like, I truly think that the scale of what we're talking about is just magnitudes different.
I'm
that's
not
my
disagreeing with that. Totally not disagreeing with that. Another thing is too about Facebook. People need to understand we are freely giving up information that 25 years ago the FBI had to have a warrant to get, and we're freely giving it now across the internet.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other
religious preferences, political
for
preferences, where we've been, where we're going, who our friends are. All this stuff is now just.
I mean, nowadays
Skinner?
you can have angry ex-wives throwing out dirty laundry on Facebook, and there's not.
Oh, that never happens. What do you mean? That's never happened.
But you know that crap happens all the time, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. Unless
Not have as many ex-wives. Try that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding. No, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right.
There's people that are complaining about your photography.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
About the photography.
That's right. Legitimately.
But you
Anyway,
understand,
sorry.
anybody can talk about air their dirty laundry, and it's, is it harmful to anybody that's watching? I'm going to use myself as an example. I have an ex-wife that will throw anything out on Facebook for, look at me, poor me. This is, my life is horrible crap. It's all because it's her ex-husband's fault, which is me.
Yeah.
We don't talk.
Mhm.
We don't see each other. We have no decision making when it comes to our kids, because one's 17 and the other one's a married adult at 20, going to be 21 this year. But she's got friends out there that are just feeding into everything that's said, and that's only one side of the story. And what people don't understand, right. And this goes towards what Michael's talking about and what Keith's talking about. If you do not take what it's intended for, you could really get wrapped up into it.
Well, I think Junior
reasons.
is saying it's intended for a whole lot more than what we're thinking, and these things are not all good. So right. I'm in total agreement with Junior. I'm just saying personally, I try to use it and enjoy it as much as possible for the most positive things. We're doing,
but you are the exception, not the rule. The rule is
that's good. I had a couple, just real quick. I took pictures of. Lovely girl. Her boyfriend was this real big, tough, scary dude. And I don't know what was going on in the relationship, but one day, I don't know if she was drunk or what, she put on Facebook, I feel like I have a roommate. What would you guys do if your man hadn't blanked you in a long time? And I don't need a freaking roommate. He can leave or so and so like that. I couldn't believe she put that on there. Her friends were going, hey, you need to take this off. You need to quit airing your dirty laundry. I was like, man, this dude's going to kill her. But she put it on there. I haven't heard from her since. So I'm like, why would you do stuff like that, man?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a good opportunity to we have a special guest for our 50th episode, Skinner's ex, to share her side of the story.
That's wrong.
Wait, which one? Are you talking about my mom, or are you talking about the one that he's been saying?
She must have left. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. You got tired of waiting, I guess. So
but you can find a Nigerian prince on Facebook. My ex-wife did.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Well, it's a big topic, and I tend to agree with both. I mean, it's we know these social media platforms, unfortunately, they're not going to go away. So you're right. The hope is that people can learn to use them for more enjoyment and to get positive things out there and have enough, I don't know, I guess combination of self-control and common sense to try to use them for positive benefits and positive gains. Certainly there's many positive sides to all this stuff as far as, like you say, staying connected, put good information out there, to put world-class entertaining podcasts out there, for example. Many positive upsides, but unfortunately you're going to have the harmful sides as well. And you hope that, at the end of the day, people find a way to make use it for more positive things than negative. I don't know. So, well, guys, I think we're coming to an end. I think
coming to a close
of our 50th episode. we look forward to our future. I think in our 75th episode, Junior is going to come back with his thoughts on Adrian Barbeau. So we will insist that there's some research there. And
I want you to look up Lola Falana.
That's so many names, I can't keep up.
Lola Falana. Anyway, so
I just want to say something real quick,
please.
I can't believe it's been 50 episodes. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. It's our own little family. It's just been an awesome ride. Good days, bad days, and this is something I look forward to every single week. I'm not tired of it. It's been 50, and it just snuck up on us. I can't wait for the next 50. So love you guys. Let's just make this better and better and better.
Yeah,
well, I remember that.
Go ahead.
I remember that first talk after we're like, all right, what are we going to do after football?
Yeah.
And Fisher had the idea, and you're the one that brought it to fruition, if I remember right. Fisher's like, well, what about a Gen X thing? And then we worked on the name. Then we worked on, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? And that's when everybody got their own lanes and everybody's got their own personality and this, that, and another. And then we brought Michael on, and he's like, hey, I'd like to be a part of this. Sounds like what you guys are doing is pretty cool. And then we got Peyton involved, and she did all the print work and did all the artwork. And it's like, wow, this really came together. Actually, it came together very quickly. But over time, we've had to fine tune things and yeah, like Porter says, I'm not tired of this. This is something that I love to do every single week, and I have all of you to thank for that.
Yes. How cool has it been that everything we've done, our kids have come to our rescue?
Absolutely.
When we started reality football, Steele was there. We hosted at his rat house. Then all of a sudden, John Cooper, our other partner, Remy, took over producing that whole year. Then also Peyton steps in with the logo and the shirt. Now we got Junior. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very awesome. And we've talked about this on prior episodes. If you guys know us personally, you know this story. But we've talked about it on prior episodes. But we actually are three old friends. This is not. We used to play cards. We talked about it many times on this show. We played poker Monday nights for for many years. Partied together, high school together. And
I can attest that I've been seeing them since since I can remember.
That's right. But so doing this show, guys, it's just been another way to stay connected with you guys. And if nothing else ever becomes of this, other than we just got together, we created something, put it out there. If it gave somebody a laugh and a smile, like you said, exactly right, we'll still do it. So thanks for everybody for listening. If you listen to us once or 10 times or whatever it is, we appreciate your listenership out there and your support. So on that note,
and he froze.
Yeah, we appreciate him.
I froze?
Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
sorry.
I got some work to do. Sorry, I got some work to do at the end.
I think the audio's okay.
Voice.
I think the audio's
Michael thought this was going to be an easy week.
Oh, crap.
All right,
I forgot to record.
All right, guys. So he's had close to 50 times to practice this.
Oh, my God.
We're going to hear a flawless outro right now.
Oh, here we go.
Mike Skinner Sr.
So,
flawless.
Yes, it is come to an end for this week's show, our 50th show, and we appreciate your listening, and we appreciate everything you guys do. For Michael Skinner Jr., Brian Fisher, and Keith Porter, I am Michael Skinner Sr., and we wish you farewell, and we will talk to you next week. Despite these 3 yahoos on the screen with me, have a great week.
Tune into the 75th episode, folks.
and
out.
Okay, for Michael Skinner, Mike Skinner.